Real power, a dark ambition for the weak and an instrument of service for the strong. Here's how you can have it. In a world that is overly concerned with scientific explanations for what leadership means and how men in leading positions should act to gain and use power, if we pay attention to our personal experiences, we can strongly state that many times legends and stories are more individual and express life more precisely than science does, since sharing only average concepts of power is a far too general approach that does little justice to the subjective variety of an individual life. Throughout our history, various words were used to describe a powerful leader, but regardless of this fact, all terms were deeply connected to the mythic theme and archetypal expression of the warrior spirit and the warrior's way of accessing power. We can find this in the tales of those who have explored this way of life, in the stories and legends of the past, in the chronicles of men who were often referred to as kings, generals, adventurers, or sorcerers. Come along, friend, on a short journey of exploration of our past and present stories, and let us discover the main elements through which you can access real power by taking advantage of the warrior spirit that is ingrained in you. If you pay attention to all the tales that speak to your soul, you will understand that universally there are three kinds of power. From the shamans of ancient societies to the managers of our modern times, it was and still is believed that if a man possesses these three powers, he embodies fully the warrior spirit and is automatically perceived as a leader. These are the power of presence, the power of communication, and the power of position. Every man carries the quality of presence, but some men carry such a presence that we identify them as charismatic or magnetic personalities. We are drawn to them and they captivate our interest even before they speak or we know anything about them. Whether in the legends that create a spark in your heart or in your daily interactions, you can recognize these men intuitively. Such men are easily seen as leaders, but to hold leading positions, they need to communicate effectively. Effective communication is accomplished when there is an alignment of content, right timing, and right placement. Communication that empowers and inspires us is communication that is delivered at the appropriate time and in the right place for the man involved to hear it and receive it. The final pillar, the one that gives value to the previous two, is the power of position. A true warrior demonstrates willingness to take a stand. This involves letting others know where he stands and where he does not, what he stands for, and how he stands up for himself. Many men in politics have impressive presence and communication skills. However, when they allow their desire to win votes blur the lines defining their stance on specific issues, they lose power and trust. You see, friend, embodying such traits requires effort, and throughout our history, examples of men who carried all three powers and who accessed the mythical structure of the warrior spirit are rare. But each of these men has been committed to aligning the power of presence, communication, and the willingness to take a stand in arenas that had heart and meaning for them. From the likes of Marcus Aurelius, from the legend of the heroic Hercules, Gandhi, or Theodore Roosevelt, you can learn that despite the hardships of choosing such a path, you can make your life very simple in a sense if you practice these principles. Show up and choose to be present. Pay attention to what has meaning and to what is fair. Seek and tell the truth without giving in to the urge of condemnation, and be open to outcomes without being attached to them. It is your task as a warrior to show up, to become visible through example, and to have the intention to empower and inspire others by what you model in life. This is the simple guideline for leading a life of quality and integrity, because a true leader is always the man who knows how to extend honor and respect, set limits and boundaries, and align words with actions. From times long gone until our current era, men expended effort for developing these leadership traits, because it was clearly understood that without them, the soul is lost. And with this loss comes depression, disheartenment, and a nihilistic attitude towards life that can only be described as misery. In a time when you are constantly bombarded with the idea that manhood, warriorship, and being a strong and capable man is wrong, Take these words to heart, friend, and use them as a source of comfort, revitalization, and power that reminds you to reclaim and remember all the parts of who you are as a man. Take this belief with you in challenging times and remember that it is essential to face these hardships with grace, power, and dignity. Keep in mind that when adversities present themselves, it is the warrior's way to embrace them with full-bodied presence rather than to constrict in fear. Reinforce the power of clear communication and recognize that sometimes no is a complete sentence. Be firm and considerate in your speech by honoring your own individual limits and boundaries, as well as the limits and boundaries of others. And understand that in order to become a man of mastery, power, and influence, a true leader that can inspire trust and reliability, you have to take a firm stance in many situations, because power is not gained, but earned through the fruitful effort of service to others. Will you dare to choose the tolerant, respectful, and impartial way of the warrior by becoming a powerful man? Or will you follow the path of deceit, corruption, and selfishness that can only provide dependency and need, falsely masked as power? Your choice will impact not only you,